we should have. Alright, trauma, the lethal triad, right? Acidosis first. How do we examine this in the field? Just talk inside of a wait form, right? Pay attention to that, we're gonna know if they're acidotic or not. Coagulate pathogen, what is that? Good, it's the ability of the body to clot, right? So when I have severe hemorrhage in my body, two things happen, right? Let's say I have an amputated leg. Well, obviously I got blood squirting out of my leg, right? That's the way the body works, flows blood back and forth, alright? So I have an extreme hemorrhage coming out of my leg. One part of my body is saying, I have to clot, right? I have to clot that bleed right there in the leg. The other part of my body is saying, I have to get blood to the vital organs, the brain, the heart, things like that, okay? And it's saying, I don't want to clot. Because what happens when there's a clot in the body? We have an embolism, right? An embolism is bad. So one part of your body is saying, I gotta clot, I gotta stop this bleed, I kinda almost need to send blood here. The other part's like, I gotta send blood to all the vital organs, I don't wanna clot, right? So fibrinolysis is the breakdown of clots, right? So the body wants to start that process of fibrinolysis when there's hemorrhage going on. But at the same time, we need it to clot, right? So what drug do we use? To help our clotting, what drug? TXA, good. TXA is like tape, right? Think of it, I'm gonna show you next week some simple shit and you're never gonna forget it. TXA is tape, right? If I got a bag and it's full of water, if I cut the corner, how do I stop the water from falling out? Tape it.
Flex seal.
Flex, literally it's in the lecture, a picture of the flex seal. Right, I tape it, so my TXA is clotting, right? I've taped that bag, I've clotted that bag. Now we're good, we've stopped fibrinolysis, so the body's not breaking down these clots anymore. We're getting the clots that we need to stop that bleed. And now we gotta replace that bag, right, with more blood. Make sense?
Makes sense. Yeah.
Hypothermia, last thing, how do we stop?
Heat.
A little more, turn the AC off in the truck after we've done all of our interventions and our assessments, throw a blanket on, alright? And that's all we gotta do. If we can control these three things, the mortality rate goes down a lot, alright? If I can keep them from becoming too acidotic, I can make sure that they're able to clot, and I keep that body warm, there's a better chance of them surviving. If we get out of line with any of this stuff, mortality rate skyrockets, okay? So, right here, GCS lesson 13, so different than ours. Alright, here. So systolic blood pressure of less than 110. I want you guys to remember this, okay? If I can keep my systolic blood pressure between 100 and 110, as well as my pulse rate between 100 and 110, there's a solid chance that patient's gonna survive. And I think it's like an 80% chance better than if one or both of those falls below 100. As soon as one of those things falls below 100, my mortality rate skyrockets. I'm gonna die. There's a huge chance. So how do I keep the blood pressure up with what we have on our trucks, on our truck here? What type of fluids?
I'm not. I don't know. I'm saying, what was the question?
How do I keep this blood pressure up in a patient with major hemorrhage?
TXA.
And
Whole blood.
right, both. The blood is my volume, right? The blood is the volume. And I'm gonna show you next week why we don't get fluids anymore, especially in here. Because we have blood on our trucks at DC, alright? So I have to replenish the volume in the body. I have to make sure that there's blood circulating and I have to clot. That's how I'm gonna keep that blood pressure and that pulse rate around 100. 100 to 110, we're doing good, alright?